Hi everyone, my name is Nikalatisha Gunawan and my name is 270-235-1071 and I'm from Group 4 which makes my multinational corporation as Unilever. Today I'm going to do an individual presentation about the expansion of Unilever in specific countries like South Korea, China and Indonesia, and I'm going to focus on explaining about the region in Indonesia. I'm going to analyze why Indonesia is not just a high growth market for Unilever, but how complex the operational challenges are. By using strategic frameworks like Porter's five forces, I will break down the opportunities and barriers that Unilever faces in this emerging economy. Now, let's start with explaining what MNC actually is. A MNC, also known as a multinational corporation, is a large business entity that operates across multiple countries, with a central headquarters that's usually in its home country and numerous subsidiaries, branches, or production facilities abroad. MNC surely has its good and bad sides. As for the goods, MNC helps with economic growth by creating jobs and boosting the GDP in the host countries. Advanced technology and skill was because MNC does a technology transfer. MNC also does a mass production that reduces costs so that we as a consumer could buy things with a lower price. And surely MNC does improve the quality of products because of the global standards. As for the bad sides, we could see that there are many exploitation happening now and how lots of big businesses are crashing down the local businesses. And the worst part is how many global brands could actually erase lots of local tradition due to the cultural homogenization. Okay. Now for the example of MNC, I'm going to use Unilever. Unilever did not start out as Unilever the first time, but it first started in 1929. There's a British soap makers, which is Lever Brothers, that made soap named Sunlight Soap, which eventually merged with Dutch margarine giant known as Margarine Unie to stop competing for palm oil because both companies relied on palm oil as their key ingredients, so they merged to help them secure supply chains and reduce costs. In the 1930s, they expanded into Africa and Asia by selling affordable hygiene products like Lifebuoy soap, and up until now, Unilever operates in over 120 countries, adapting their products to the local taste. MNC, fun fact, did you know that there's an infamous scandal about MNC that happened in the 1970s? It was when Nestle aggressively marketed baby formula in developing nations. It started when Nestle promoted formula as a more modern way to feed babies compared to breastfeeding and even give free samples to the new moms. The problem is that because of poverty, lots of mothers diluted the formula with dirty water that causes malnutrition and infant deaths. Because of that, many activists launched the Nestle boycott in 1977, and it was the first major global boycott against MNC. But thankfully, because of the big boycott, the World Health Organization created the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes to regulate such practices. Okay, so now let's try to understand global success by looking at three economic theories. So the first one is absolute advantage by Adam Smith. Adam Smith argued that countries should specialize in producing goods and services where they have an absolute advantage, meaning they can produce more efficiently than others. This specialization enables higher productivity and cost restraint. But absolute advantage itself doesn't explain why countries are firm without their best production capabilities in trade. The second one is comparative advantage by Dr. Picardo. Picardo showed that even if one country is less efficient in producing all goods compared to another, it's still specialized in what it produces relatively more efficiently. For example, at a lower opportunity cost. And trade benefits both parties. Comparative advantage itself ensures that Unilever doesn't waste resources on inefficient production, but instead leverages global disparities in costs like labor or regulations. The third one is competitive advantage by Michael Porter. Porter shifted the focus from country level trade to firm level strategy. Competitive advantage comes from the first one is cost leadership, like being the low cost producer. The second is differentiation, like unique products, branding, or quality. The third is focus by serving niche markets. The fourth one and the last one is innovation strategy by continuing improvement and value chain optimization. John Locke's principle of individual liberty, property rights, and free competition underpin modern capitalism and the economic theories that shape MNC's competitive advantage. Freedom of competition allows currency to innovate without excessive state intervention, while strong property rights protect its brand and patents, encouraging further innovation. Locke's ideas also align with Adam Smith's concept of the invisible hand, where free markets promote specialization and efficient trade are the key factors in Unilever's global success. The third one is only framework breakdown. The first one is ownership advantage. Unilever owns popular brands and invests heavily in research, giving it an edge over competitors. The second one is location advantage. Indonesia provides a large consumer base, affordable production costs, and key natural resources. The third one is internalization advantage. By running down its own factories instead of outsourcing, Unilever ensures quality control and avoids supply chain. The third one is only framework breakdown. The first one is ownership advantage. Unilever owns popular brands and invests heavily in research, giving it an edge over competitors. The second one is location advantage. Indonesia provides a large consumer base, affordable production costs, and key natural resources. The third one is internalization advantage. By running its own factories instead of outsourcing, Unilever ensures quality control and avoids supply chain risk. Now let's talk how does Unilever really operates. Unilever global success depends on how well it manages its operations. The company divides its work into two main types of activities. The first one is supporting activities, which help the business run smoothly, and the second one is primary activities, which are directly involved in making and selling the products. Supporting activities itself is the backbone of the operations. These activities don't directly produce goods, but they help Unilever work efficiently and stay competitive. The first one is human resources. Unilever invests in its employees by providing training programs, promoting diversity, and ensuring a good work-life balance because Unilever believes that happy and skilled workers lead to better productivity. The second one is technology. Unilever use advantage tools like AI for demand forecasting and e-commerce platforms to reach more customers and sustainable innovations like plant-based packing to stay ahead. The third one is procurement. Unilever carefully chooses suppliers to ensure ethical sourcing. For example, it buys palm oil from local farmers who follow sustainable practices to avoid deforestation. So let's move on to the primary activities, which are the core business steps. These are the key steps that turn raw materials into finished products and deliver them to customers. The first one is inbound logistics. Unilever sources raw materials like palm oil, tea, and chemicals from reliable suppliers worldwide, ensuring quality and cost efficiency. The second one is operations. The company runs factories with strict environmental policies, such as zero waste goals, meaning they recycle or reuse waste instead of throwing it away. The third one is outbound logistics. Products are distributed quickly and sustainably using eco-friendly transportation to reduce carbon emissions. The fourth is marketing and sales. Unilever tailors its advertising to local cultures. For example, in India, it might use a Bollywood stars and ads, while in Brazil, it focuses on social media campaigns. The last one is service. Some customer support like helplines and online chat help keep buyers satisfied and loyal to Unilever brands. So why do this matters? Because by managing these activities effectively, Unilever keeps costs low, maintains high quality, and meets customer needs worldwide. This well-organized system is a big reason why Unilever remains a leader in the consumer goods industry up until now. Now, let me explain why Indonesia is such a good match for Unilever by using Michael Porter's lemon theory in simpler terms. This theory helps us understand why certain countries are better for certain businesses. First, let's look at the factor conditions. Indonesia has several key advantages that help Unilever. The country is the world's biggest producer of palm oil, which is used in many Unilever products. Labor costs are lower than in many other countries, helping keep production costs down. Plus, Indonesia has been improving its roads, ports, and internet infrastructure, making it easier to do business there. Next one is demand conditions. Indonesia's growing middle class means more people can afford Unilever products. As people earn more money, they want better quality items like branded shampoos, soaps, and packaged foods. That's what exactly what Unilever sells. This creates a ready market for their goods. The related industries part is important too. Indonesia has a strong farming sector that produces many of the raw materials Unilever needs. There are also good packaging companies, transportation networks, and other supporting businesses that help Unilever's supply chain work smoothly. Competition actually helps Unilever in Indonesia. Local brands like Wings and Mayura keep Unilever on its toes, forcing them to keep innovating and improving their products. This competition also makes Unilever stronger in the long run. The COVID-19 pandemic was an example of trends events that Unilever handled really well. When more people started shopping online during the pandemic, Unilever quickly adapted by strengthening its e-commerce sales. Being able to respond to the unexpected changes is crucial. Finally, the Indonesian government has been supportive of foreign countries like Unilever through business-friendly policies. This makes it easier for Unilever to operate and grow in the country. So to put it all together, Indonesia provides Unilever with the right mix of resources, customers, supporting businesses, and a competitive environment to succeed. By taking advantage of Indonesia's strengths like its palm oil farms and young population, while adapting to the challenges, Unilever has built a strong, thriving business there. This is a great example of how Porter's Darwin theory works really well in real business situations. Now let's talk about how does Unilever stay ahead and let's do the analysis. For new companies trying to enter the market, Unilever has built such strong relationships with customers that is very difficult for newcomers to do. Brands like Rinso detergent and Halls ice cream have been in Indonesian homes for generations. Parents who grew up using these products continue buying them for their own families. This kind of deep brand loyalty takes decades to build and makes it extremely hard for new brands to compete. When it comes to suppliers, Unilever's enormous size gives it a special advantage. For materials like palm oil, Unilever buys such a large quantities that suppliers are eager to work with them. It's like when someone buys a wholesale and they get better prices than someone buys small amounts. This means Unilever can get good quality materials at lower cost than smaller competitors might pay. Customers don't have much power to push prices down because they trust Unilever brand so much. While there are other options, Unilever products are available in every kind of store across Indonesia. From modern supermarkets to tiny roadside kiosks, customers know exactly what quality to expect from a Lifebuoy soap or a Blue brand margarine. So they're willing to pay a fair price rather than switch to unknown brands. However, cheaper local alternatives to present some competition. Small Indonesian companies can sometimes offer lower prices by making simpler versions of similar products. But Unilever stays ahead by constantly improving their products, maybe adding new scents to detergents or making ice cream flavors that appeal to the local taste. They also invest in making their products more environmentally friendly, which matters to many modern customers. Among better competitors, Unilever holds very strong position in key areas. Their walls ice cream is so popular as almost synonymous with ice cream itself in Indonesia. Other big companies like Nestle tend to focus on specific areas like baby food or chocolate, rather than trying to compete across all of different product categories where Unilever operates. Now let's talk about how Unilever's business works in Indonesia by seeing the business model canvas. Unilever's main promise to customers is providing good quality everyday products at prices regular people can afford, while also being responsible about environmental and social issues. A product like Sunlight Dish Soap tastes to clean well, lasts long, and be priced so both middle class families and small food stall owners can buy it regularly. They carefully serve different types of consumers. For the growing middle class in cities, they offer slightly more premium products. In rural areas, they make sure basic soap and shampoo remain affordable. For environmentally conscious shoppers, they develop special green product lines that use sustainable ingredients and packaging. You can find Unilever products through every possible shopping channel. In big cities, they're in modern supermarkets. And small towns and villages, they reach family-run corner stores called warungs. Now with more people shopping online, Unilever makes sure their products are available on all the popular e-commerce platforms and delivery apps too. Most of their sales come from the essentially everyday items. People always need things like laundry detergent, soap, and cooking products. But they're always developing new products too, like special shampoos for different hair types or instant noodle flavor that match local taste. This keeps their product range fresh and interesting. Their biggest advantage are their well-known brand name. The people trust their network of factories across Indonesia that keep production costs down and their leadership and sustainable business practices. When people see the Unilever logo, they immediately recognize it as a mark of quality. While they do have a big expenses for making, transporting, and advertising their products, they save money in a smart ways. By sourcing materials like palm oil and tea locally in Indonesia, they reduce shipping costs. Their large-scale operations also makes everything more efficient, like it's cheaper per unit to make a million bars of soap than just to make a few thousand. This is a smart combination of strong competitive position and well-designed business approach helps Unilever stay successful in Indonesia year after year. They understand exactly what different types of customer needs, make sure products are available everywhere, and keeping to improve while maintaining their fair prices. That's why they remain leaders in so many product categories across the country. So the conclusion of all of my explanation is Unilever success in Indonesia comes from a smart location choice, efficient operations, adapting to local needs, and outcompeting rivals through brand strength, sustainability, and widespread availability. This makes it a leader in the fast-growing Indonesian consumer market. And what I got is a reflection question. I got three reflection questions. The first one is how does Unilever keep its global brand strong while adapting to local tastes in Indonesia? The second one is what challenges does Unilever face with palm oil sourcing and how does it stay ethical? And the last one is why is Indonesia a perfect fit for Unilever and what can other companies learn from this? Thank you for listening and for paying attention to my explanation. Thank you.